Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Down to Earth Gardening, and this is my daughter Hannah. So Hannah and I are both master gardeners, and we share our love for gardening. And it is winter, early 2024, and one of the things that's really important as a gardener is to assess what worked and what didn't work the previous year, and that's so important for planning. And we're really starting to plan, think about what we want to do, what we don't want to do this year, ordering our seeds, some dahlia tubers and whatnot. So today's video is going to be on what we really loved in our gardens last year. And we want to share all of those with you. And I'm sure we both have a lot to say. We'll try to keep it short. And then we're going to bring you another video probably after this and talk about what we didn't like, things that we wouldn't do again this year. So when we talk about our things that we love, we're going to talk about plants that we love, designs that we used in our garden that we loved, or gardens that we love, just anything in the garden that really worked for us and really wowed us. So where to start? Because there's so many things. So you all know we love our flowers, and so I guess what I want to start by saying is that my favorite technique that I used in the garden this year, I actually did a video on, and it was planting my dahlias in containers, and there is a whole video dedicated to that because I saved my dahlia tubers from the voles. And that was such a big deal for me in 2022. I lost a lot of dahlias because the voles ate the tubers. And they're such a big investment, and I really look forward to them. So that was huge for me. So I had a lot of beautiful dahlias this year, and I'm starting to order some new ones for this year because now I know this technique really works. So favorite dahlia, let's each pick one.
I think mine is strawberry ice. That's my favorite.
And you're like a pink pastel color fan, and that is a dinner plate.
It's a dinner plate. It's really beautiful.
Beautiful. We're gonna throw up pictures of this stuff for you too. Beautiful, big, true pink dahlia. And I have to say, mine was a new one that I ordered and tried last year, and it was Labyrinth. I don't know if you remember.
Oh.
It was a big dinner plate, and it had peach,
that's right,
twisted, roughly petals, and the undersides were a deeper, like a mauve color.
Really pretty.
And each one was different, which I really loved. Really big impact for me in the garden. So another flower that I have to talk about is probably peonies, because we take so many photos of peonies, and my granddaughter Gracie loves to pick her own bouquets of peonies as well. She's also a top fan, sometimes unbeknownst to us. So favorite peony, do you have one?
I think mine's always the Sarah Bernhardt.
Sarah Bernhardt. Yeah, that's probably mine too. If a client asked me if I had to pick like a top one, because they're trying to select just one for their garden, I always say Sarah Bernhardt, because she's such a great performer too, like a real tried and true. And I think we probably each have a couple of those in our garden. So we make big bouquets out of those every year. So maybe let's talk about like different designs, and then I'm probably going to have a couple more flowers, and I'm going to hit on a vegetable too, something in the vegetable garden. So for designs, like, is there anything new that you did in your garden that you really loved this year?
I mean, I think there was a couple of things, but one of the big ones was the walkway that I have in the front of the house.
Yep.
We extended it a little bit, and we put daffodils and hyacinth bulbs.
Yes.
Lots of different kinds of daffodils. It was a mixture.
And we really packed them in there.
We did, and it was so beautiful.
So Hannah has this really nice walk leading to her front door, and that's the main entrance that we all use. And we, and actually Josh and team did this. We might have some pictures of them prepping this. But they dug a strip out along the outside of it, because the inside is the foundation planting along the house. And so it was about a 1 foot wide strip, and planted a ton of bulbs, and we just like packed them in there, and they were gorgeous.
Beautiful.
we're also suckers for daffodils. And it's fun to see them as like one of the first things that come up. You really look forward to it.
Yes. And then we ended up planting some seeds, some zinnias seeds that looked beautiful. And then we eventually did mums. So it was really nice having the walkway there.
Well, because after the daffodils and hyacinths had such a big impact, and after that we were like, oh, it would be such a shame to leave it empty. And we are big fans of starting flowers and veggies direct sow. So that means from seed in the ground. And it's really one of the most inexpensive ways to start a garden. So we use some of our seeds and just sprinkle them there after the daffodils were gone by, and they did phenomenal.
They bloomed for a long time.
And then one of the seeds that we planted there is probably one of our top zinnia picks too. And that was a new one for us.
Yeah, that one was different.
And what was that called? That was Senora.
Okay,
Senora.
It was different.
It was different. It was kind of a pinky apricot double zinnia. And if you looked at it quick, it kind of looked like a dahlia.
I got a lot of compliments on that one.
Yeah.
When people would come up to the door, they'd always say, oh, wow.
They would notice that. Yeah. So definitely we would plant Senora again, and definitely plant the walk again.
Absolutely.
I can remember pulling up to your house in the summer and walking to the front door and just really enjoying my walk to the front door. That makes such a big impact when you're going in and out of your house too. So other designs.
Yeah, I think the other thing was we planted along the side of the house, kind of another foundation.
That was a new garden
planting.
Yes.
Which Josh and team also helped with that as well. And we planted different kinds of roses and peonies.
Because you get a lot of sun over there. Yep. And it's kind of protected too, being that it's right next to the house. So that was a really good area for extending, because we're always looking for spots for more gardens. But that was a good one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you had a rose, because I know you've been experimenting with roses.
Yes.
And you tried a new one. Was it in that spot?
Yes, it was. Okay. It was the Reminiscent Coral. And that one was stunning.
Fragrant?
You know, I don't know that it had much fragrance to it, but it was just such a eye-catching rose.
Okay.
A beautiful color. And I think it bloomed for a while too.
Was it shorter?
It's shorter.
Okay. Yes. All right. So we'll try to throw up a little information on that too, because I remember that was like a big, full, kind of like an old-fashioned rose. But was it easy care? Because that's what we all really want to know.
So far, it's been easy care, but that was my first year with it. So we'll see after the winter.
Okay.
How it reblooms.
Okay.
So far, it's beautiful.
Okay. So I'm thinking about other plants that I tried this year, and two others. Well, one is probably my canna lilies, and you tried.
Oh, I did those too.
You did those too in the back of the garden, because they do get really tall, at least the varieties that we had. And they were both gifts to us from clients, I think, that were doing divisions. So canna really stunned me, because I was taking a video. Mine was red, and I think it was the president. And I was out there taking a video, and the hummingbirds actually visited. And I did a little short on that because I was so impressed with that. So great for hummingbirds. I really loved it because it was easy. My only thing is I would definitely, always put it like off to the side or in the back of the garden. But there's so many different varieties that have different color blooms and leaves. So that was a good one. And then, of course, when you dig them up, when you lift them in the fall, because you have to store them in the winter, there were so many babies.
Yes.
So we'll probably have a lot more of those this year. And then my other one, going in the opposite direction, a really petite little flower that I loved, that I don't think I've ever planted, was my cornflowers, my bachelor buttons.
That's right.
And they really had like a little informal look. And I also started those by seed, and I did a big patch, and they were really stunning. So I'm hoping they're going to reseed themselves this year and be the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
because I love those for pollinators and just like to make some little bouquets and stuff. Those were kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else we should hit on?
I can't think of anything. It was such a wonderful year for flowers.
It was a good year because we got more rain this year too.
Yes.
So that helped, not really having to water. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we should also note that we do look for a lot of easy plants because we're both very busy. Hannah with the kids and her family, and then me with the gardening business, and trying to spend time with you all and the grandkids. So we're looking for easy, low care things, and that's what we're trying to share with you too. So I think the other thing I want to hit on before I let you all go today is the teepee that we did in your garden.
Yes, that's right. The teepee.
The teepee.
The teepee was really fun. We ended up, it's just like you can make it yourself if you want to. It's just like a little wooden teepee frame. And we planted, what was it, the hyacinth bean?
So climbers. So hyacinth bean. P.S. One of my favorite climbers from seed. Sometimes they're tough to find, but you get that burgundy pod on them, and then they have some beautiful purple little flowers. But those are like one of my favorite climbers. I feel like I say that's my favorite all the time. But, and then what else did you grow on there?
Morning glories, right? Very fast growing. Yep. It was beautiful, and it's nice for photo ops, for pictures. Just looks nice in the garden.
Yeah,
I would do that again.
And for kids, like we were also planting it. You had a lot of space. We do a lot of seeds in Hannah's garden, and we're going to bring you a full length on that because the seeds are such a beautiful way and inexpensive to fill in garden space, and then you can kind of move things around and mix it up every year. But the teepee took up a little bit of room, but it was really a cute feature there. Kids can play. I mean, I think I even walked by it and said to you, I'd like to have a little picnic in there sometime. We didn't have the chance, so maybe next year you'll see a little tea party in there. One more thing, we forgot the vegetables. So we love growing our own vegetables too. It's great to go out there and pick fresh veggies and incorporate them into our meals. But I wanted to talk to you about my tricolor beans. Do you remember these?
I do.
So green beans, they're actually pole beans, and they were 3 different colors. So a combination of the yellow beans, the royal burgundy, which are burgundy purple, and the green lake. So the tricolor, just make sure you get all 3 colors. Fast growing, they love the heat, and they also have bush varieties. So I would definitely do those again next year. So I just didn't want to forget. I mentioned that in the beginning, and I think that was it for veggies. There's so many more. Stay tuned for more gardening videos. I don't want to keep you any longer today because we could probably talk forever. But if you subscribe to our channel, you'll see a lot more talk about favorites and featuring some different plants and techniques because we do love to share all that with you. So next time we will be talking about what didn't work because I think that is just as important. So I think that's it for today, but thanks so much for joining us. It was fun. I love gardening with Hannah. It's a family affair here, and that's even better all in itself. So thank you, and hopefully we'll see you again next time.